Y lo están
Grenade,
explicando.
also, all of the Terrapagos abilities. Getting rid of those can really be detrimental to
Where's your
Terrapagos'
Hadron
farm.
engine?
Oh yeah, Hadron engine, that's gone.
Güey,
There's
¿qué
no
pedo? Se cerró el
Did we
pinche
mention
directo,
Unseen
güey.
Fist going away too yet?
That too. Oh my gosh. Intimidate even. Incineroar's just a cute little innocent kitty cat when it doesn't have
Ni
intimidate.
pedo.
Absolutely. I mean, well, wait.
Después de 5 horas tuvo que abrir otra vez el directo.
You said Incineroar was cute. You can
Yeah.
still roll it back.
I'm gonna roll that one back. I like Breathtaking, thank you. That's why I picked that one as my plush for today. So yeah, we're gonna move on from that. Galarian Weezing, though, I think also brings in a very just unique typing when it comes down to like its actual capabilities. You can have, it's not really the most offensive Pokemon. I'm not gonna give it that much credit, but you can see things like Sludge Bomb, Dazzling Gleam. You get the same type attack bonuses for those. You can and it really does help out a little bit in some of those more trickier matchups where you go, wow, is that a Terra Fairy Shadow Rider over there? It has its niche, right? And particularly at the minute when it's paired up with Dondozo, the key thing that it's doing is poisoning Pokemon on the opposing side, using toxic spikes or things like this, and then it doesn't matter if it goes down. You kind of want it to go down because then, hey, free switches, Tatsugiri, and then Dondozo just sits on the field.
Oye, espérame.
And then
Oye, no había leído.
So it has got strategy and it has got a play, but I always think it's a little bit of a risk. If you can't pivot it into the right position, then it's kind of...
Según Centro Pokémon, que ya sabemos que no es muy fiable, ¿verdad? Dice, Ishihara anuncia que revelará noticias especiales de los juegos de Pokémon en la ceremonia de clausura del Campeonato Mundial. ¿Sí?
Unlike some of the single battle formats, a lot of people don't run rapid spin to remove any entry hazards on the field. So those poison types are just stuck on, or those toxics are just there. You're taking
Ahora sí se pasaron con esta ronda,
It really is a very difficult Pokemon to play around, especially if you haven't thought about it. I think a lot of trainers going into the World Championships thought about their teams in terms of lines.
Oye, cierta expo pone, ¿quieres un meet and greet con algunos invitados? Sí, con Obregón.
Oye, assuming you have the Dondozo to back it up.
¿Yo?
De Alfonso Obregón.
Ajá.
One of the teams that has seen so far when it comes down to like the Dondozo, the Tatsu, the Shadow Runner, Calyrex, either you do see the Galarian Weezing on the team, or it's left off.
Ajá, ¿otra vez? Participantes, eran como 10, creo. 30. Ah, bueno.
You know, I kind of wonder, do we get a chance to see it more?
Not for G, but for H.
Ah, mándalo por WhatsApp.
There's going to be a lot of Weezings.
I mean, it's turned up the fashion here. Look at the top hats that it's rocking as well. So we know that it's here on the appropriate occasion for the World Championships and maybe beyond.
Maybe, just maybe. But, I think it also just gives so much of a threat in team preview. You have to consider, is my opponent going to bring it?
Looking at that, right? In the team
Yeah.
list, you're going to be like, oh gosh, this is, if they bring it, then this is exactly how the team is going to flow. This is the match that my opponent
según lo que vas ahorita.
have to adjust. But then if they leave it on the bench and you've brought the Pokemon that counter it and the rest of their team then is a bad matchup for you, that's where things can get difficult. And it's why I do not envy the players at the World Championships where the stakes are so high, having to make those kind of
Porque no tengo Genshin.
Well, what about one that maybe you have to kind of think about on the fly?
Sí.
Mira, Tavo, hay 5 mexicanos
covered here. This is our caster predictions as well. I think courtesy of Sierra, but it is still.
Abrego sé que es bueno.
Really a unique pick when we think about restricted formats. This is really where we
Solo topo Abrego. Eric Ríos sí va a seguir. Bueno, o sea, todos tienen 6-0. O sea, más allá de que Wolfie sea el. Ah, pero es lo que. El porcentaje de victorias es lo que los está clasificando. Aquí no tiene buscador, ¿verdad? No. ¿Dónde está? ¿Y dónde está el buscador? Ah, o sea, sí, lo busco yo, pues.
Because you copy any boost that your opponent has when you send that Pokemon to the field, but then you still benefit from the Choice Scarf boosting your
Aaron Shank está en el 89.
Hey, anything you can do, I can do better.
Sí, o sea, si gana las últimas dos, sí. Podría.
But I do think that Choice Scarf and having
Brendan está en el 197. Hasta luego, Brendan.
I mean, Ditto can literally be anything you want it to be. But again, it is so positionally dependent. You can't just throw it in and be like, this is the Pokemon I want it to be. It obviously has to...
Pero no rifa nada en Masters.
And we have always seen Ditto have dominance when there are restricted formats for the reasons you guys have already mentioned. You know, when we used to see Xerneas with the Geomancy boost, it was like, look, I want one of those.
Sí.
You get one, put it in my Ditto, and like you said, with the Choice Scarf, you then have the speed advantage. And then those mirrors, that can be really, really critical.
Pues esto se va a definir. A ver, Eric Ríos. Hugh Mahara, no recuerdo haberlo visto jugar, pero es uno de los favoritos a ser campeón. El que acaba de ganar, el Hirofumi Kimura, va en cuarto. Wolfie Glick en 11. Michael Kelch, eso lo hizo jugar. La señorena está en 13avo. Ryosuke está en 16avo, no manches. Ryosuke es el campeón del año pasado. ¿Quién? A ver. Yo creo que sí, porque perdió desde el principio. 4-2. Puede. Podría,
Diego Iml.
Hola,
Qué
Diego,
bueno que llegaste.
bienvenido.
Que Arceus te bendiga.
Sí. ¿Cómo van Wolfie y Aaron? Wolfie está en top 12 y Aaron está en top 49. Así que ahí la tienes. Aquí está Lara y está Majo. Ahorita venimos, vamos por la pizza. Es Concha. Si quieren, dice, no, ¿cuántas perdió? 2, va 4-2. Aaron va 4-2.
Sigue vivo,
Sigue vivo, podría pasar todavía, pero va 4-2.
If you've been watching the stream, you've seen a lot of Pokemon going in and out, back onto the field, rotating through with parting shot and U-turn and all of these other tricks up their sleeves. So Ditto is definitely one of those that fits the bill.
Yeah, and I think forcing your opponent to think through their positioning plan a little bit more aggressively maybe than they were planning. Forcing your opponent to deal with that surprise factor can be so important at the World Championships in particular. I think all of us, I mean, especially at our locals, I will say, Rose, but at regional championships, maybe at international championships, you kind of know what to expect. You know, you're not going to see things too against the grain. It's going to be what's doing well. It's going to be what's popular. But being able to bring a powerful Pokemon like Ditto that can change the game, surprise your opponent, throw them just a little bit off balance could be all you need to get the advantage. So having that like 6th wild card pick, perhaps, maybe Ditto can be our wild card for this event, I think is really important.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, do you know what throws me? When you're against a Ditto player and they lead with it, and you're just like, the boldness that you read me so hard that you were confident to lead Ditto, and then they copy the Pokemon you do not want them to copy. At that point, I'm just like, okay, why am I here? Like, you are clearly in control of this game. And I love seeing that from players as well, and sometimes you will see it in a game 3, when, you know, the stakes are really high and you just have to risk it, and they do.
They really do, and we have all of the players waiting for us, getting ready to risk the rest of those tournament runs, as we only have a couple more rounds of Swiss to go for day number 1 of competition. That's why, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me for the deep dive with the Beach Vibes. I'm making this a thing now, but we are going to throw it back over to our casters to keep the action going here at the World Championships.
Mordogn. Qué bueno que llegaste, que Arceus te bendiga. Muac.
Shout outs to all of the fans here, whether you're a competitor, whether you're a spectator, whether you're here for the first time. We are here at the Honolulu Pokemon World Championships here, and it's been an absolute fun start to our day, but it's about to get even better. It's time to hit the stinger because Oko comes to Honolulu, baby. Joe Brown, Sarah Dawn here for round 7.
I am so excited. It's only been fantastic matches on the day. I would expect absolutely nothing less here at the Pokemon World Championships. But pumped that we finally get to cast a round together, and knowing the matchup already, this should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so excited for this round. Every day, or today has been great so far. I'm sure day 2 is going to be even better tomorrow. But let's take a look at the standings to see where we are right now through 6 rounds of Switch. You can see all of those trainers that have 6 victories, they're still going to try to win these last 2 rounds. Your record carries over into day 2. So there's no resting on your laurels here in the last 2 rounds on day 1, Sierra.
My impression looking at the Swiss rankings too is there's so many stories to be telling here. I mean, the first attention that you have to be calling out, of course, is Wolf Glick, 2-time regional champion this season, world champion at 6-0 record. And not the only strong trainer out here. Even Michael Kelsch, 6-0, runner-up last time around, absolutely fantastic. Seeing these 6-0 records, as you said, yes, you're in day 2, but it cannot be understated how important it would be to get a win these next 2.
Yeah, for sure. And then, congrats to a lot of these Japanese players as well. Humahara, Sho Akiyama as well at 6-0. These are going to be some of those tough matches, right? Because you have there's a little bit less stress on you, for lack of a better words here, because you know you're playing no matter what tomorrow. But of course, if you're 6-0, let's say you're Wolf Glick, you're also facing someone else who is currently undefeated and playing fantastically this weekend. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It's less stressful, but also more stressful because you're playing better trainers.
To be the best, you got to beat the best. As simple
That's
as
fair.
that, right? Did you really expect to roll up to the World Championships and not be playing against some of the best trainers in the world?
No, obviously that's kind of the fun of it, right? You can't say about the end of this weekend, whoever wins on Championship Sunday, they've absolutely earned that crown, and all the victories that they've had along the way are definitely going to be a big deal. But I do believe we also have not just the standings from within this round in round 7, but potentially the notable pairings on who is particularly facing off against each other. There's a lot of great names with their potential winning ins you see on the graphic, but the one we're going to be focusing on, our stream match, our first representation from Australia, with Daniel Zitko facing the reigning EUIC champion Nils Dunlop.
Again, to be the best, you got to beat the best. Nils, being able to be an IC champion this season, definitely showing that he's more than capable of making these runs through the competition. And again, whoever is going to be winning this one is going to be at least secured for day 2. And looking at these other notable matches, a couple people we have gotten to see throughout the day. I mean, Agati sitting that 5-1, one away from locking it up, and the Idu, previous world champion, at 5-1 as well. So those should be really exciting matches.
Yeah, for sure. It's always such a difficult decision when, you can only broadcast one match at a time. I remember one of the rounds I was off earlier today. Sierra, I saw Paul Chua and Idu Cunha facing each other. And I was backstage, was like, why am I sitting backstage? I'm going to go out into the crowd, and I watched that match, and it was just super intense. You see all the people, all these world champions, these world caliber players all at the same area just facing off, and they're acting like it's just any regular old match. But here we are getting ready for the start of our round 7 matchup. Daniel Zitko and Nils Dunlop. Some fun names. First time we have Australia here, Sierra, but first Koraidon representation as well on the stream today.
Getting a couple of firsts, and I absolutely love it. Of course, going into this event, there is like the big 3 restricted that everyone sort of expected. You got the horses and you got the Maridon, but where's little cousin Koraidon? This is like the epitome of bringing your little brother along to the event. We had to see a Koraidon somewhere, but hey, at this record, at this 5-1, I will definitely give it the props in the world, especially to being able to see the strong Pokemon that it's paired with on this team and how you can enable them. I'm looking at this Fluttermane and this Raging Bolt. I think it's a really fun archetype that maybe people haven't necessarily cracked the code of consistency against these big 3 restrictors we've had, but they definitely have their place.
Yeah, I think this should be a really fun matchup. See a lot of offensive pressure that Daniel was going for, and we do know that typically the Oceania player base is more known for that hyper-aggressive strategies where really fast Pokemon, really hard-hitting Pokemon like a Choice Specs Golden Go, Fluttermane's really fast, Choice Band Dragonite as well. The Koraidon's really fast and really strong. Really fits the Australian narrative of just going really strong, really fast.
This Koraidon is going to be a little bit more typical when you see that Terra Fire. Of course, you do not want to get burned, and having the opportunity to go for a Terra Fire Flare Blitz is just absolutely fantastic. Covert Cloak, you aren't going to get faked out. It's going to be great. And Raging Bolt is a Pokemon that I don't think we've necessarily seen the most of today. This one, the Assault Vest, and it does have a little bit of the speed control in that way as well. So even if you do have a couple Pokemon that are a little bit more on that naturally speedier side, Raging Bolt is a fantastic option to furthermore make sure the speed is in your favor. A lot of choice items across the board with the specs on the Golden Ghost, Scarf on the Chiyu, and the Band on the Dragonite. That's always something you have to play against, play around really carefully, because once you've locked into a move, you're done. And someone like Nils can definitely take advantage of those situations.
Daniel's almost run out of choices by having all 3 choice items on his team. You just click one move and makes your life a lot easier. Maybe that's what's helped Daniel get to 5-1 on the day. But of course, Nils, as his opponent, the reigning EUIC champion, winning with that Porygon. Hopefully everybody picked up their Porygon during the New Orleans NASE stream, but Porygon and Ursaluna team, neither of them are going to be present here today in Honolulu for him. Not even, still somewhat Trick Room oriented with the Mungus and Calyrex Ice Rider, but some really strong other options in the Urshifu, as well as Reggie Drago on the stream.
I mean, Reggie Drago, you're talking about Pokemon that are looking to deal a bunch of damage, and Reggie Drago is it. This one's going to be Life Orb. There's a couple of Reggie Drago builds that we're seeing just the, you know, kind of as you would expect if you're seeing through a playthrough of a game where it's like, all right, Dragon Energy, Draco Meteor, okay, what else Dragon can I put on this team? But this one, we are going to get the Terra Blast with the Terra Steel, as well as the option to protect. The Calyrex Ice Rider, there's a lot of Pokemon here that would like to take advantage of a Trick Room situation, which I'm really intrigued to see how that turns out, considering there is that imprisoned Fluttermane over on the opposing end of the field. And this Iron Hand, I think, is just a fantastic development that we've gotten into the meta so far, with that low kick adjustment. So being able to deal a lot of damage into those heavier Pokemon out there, considering the base power of the move is based off of the weight of the Pokemon. So definitely something there that could be really something to keep an eye out there. And as well, Urshifu, Choice Scarf for the fastest coachings out here in the West.
Yeah, the coaching for Calyrex if it comes down to it, but I think Nils is going to have a tough time choosing which Pokemon to terrestrialize in every game. It seems really crucial. You'd love Terra Fire on Calyrex. You'd love the Terra Steel for Reggie Drago. You'd love Terra Water for Iron Hand. Seems like every game it's going to be crucial who Nils decides to terrestrialize. But let's get into Swiss Round 7, our second winning in of the day here in Honolulu. Iron Hand's Calyrex Ice Rider is the lead for Nils Dunlop versus Daniel Zitko with Koraidon and Fluttermane. That is some boosted photosynthesis synergy.
I mean, you're talking too about the difficulty of what to Terra over on Nils' end, but I think in this case it's a little bit more clear. This Calyrex definitely gets pressured quite well. Sure, you do have a fake out option on your end to stop this Koraidon, but at the same time, then the Fluttermane can try and deal some damage. I'm curious here too, if this Calyrex, you just want to go straight out onto the offensive, because if the Fluttermane clicks in prison, it's going to be locking down that Trick Room and making sure the Calyrex does nothing this turn, and the speed advantage is always going to be in Nils' favor. So that is the biggest thing to kind of keep an eye out for. And since Fluttermane, of course, is that Ghost type, well, the Iron Hands can't fake it out.
Right, that's a really good call out, that the Imprison on Fluttermane, not a move you see too often. Imprison kind of just, it's not a move that you use for your benefit, you use it to slow your opponent down. You stop their strategy. If Nils wants to go for Trick Room and you click the Imprison, it's not going to be able to. But Daniel terrestrializing Koraidon here on turn 1.
I was so taken aback by the Koraidon, I forgot this little boy has a cover cloak on him. He's not getting faked out at all. So being able to see the terrestrialization not on one, but both sides of the field makes a lot of sense here. Since it can't get faked out, it can go ahead and go on the go button. So the Calyrex terrestrialization makes a lot of sense. 2
fire types being added onto the field here via terrestrialization. The heat in Honolulu starting to get hotter on the field. Collision course from Koraidon towards Iron Hands on the other end. That does over 50% with the help from the sun, boosting that damage. Low kick towards Koraidon, retaliates with a lot of damage, but now that he's a fire type, this Glacial Lance is going to be resisted. Fluttermane hangs on with its Focus Sash, and Koraidon hanging on thanks to that resisted attack.
Ooh, a lot of damage going on to Daniel's end of the board to be starting things off. And without the terrestrialization, could have been a very different story. And great call from Nils to not go ahead and go for that Trick Room. Instead, this Glacial Lance bringing the Fluttermane down to 1 and the amount of damage on the Koraidon. Sure, that pickup would have been nice, but at the same time, you're definitely in a nice spot. One Pokemon getting out, Amoonguss joins the field, and it's going to be taking this hit a lot better as Collision Course yet again firing off.
But that goes into the Calyrex on the other side, so Nils' Amoonguss is going to be able to get...
Ya volvimos, Diego. Ya volvimos por acá. Ya volvimos por acá. Dice, uy, un Koraidon. Es raro ver un Coraidon también.
Boost on the other
Pero es que el
end.
problema es que no tiene golpe
I mean,
eléctrico.
it's even nicer you
Sí,
get off around because now you got a double one, and with that
rápido.
lock into the
No,
Amoonguss Focus
rápido.
Un
point,
match punch lo hubiera,
just got that double attack boost
le ayudaría.
and ways to potentially redirect. But having the first opportunity, see what Daniel has in the back. We do see two Pokemon that do have access to spread damage moves. Where
Gracias.
it's a little bit trickier here.
Este,
Spread damage moves don't
¿cuál sea,
necessarily
güey?
hit into this
No,
Calyrex
no,
quite
no
the
tengo
best.
prisa
It
con él.
has taken a little bit, a good chunk of damage, but still needs to be making up a lot of momentum in this case.
Yeah,
Provechito para los que nos están viendo, vamos a comer
even
pizza.
if our resistant attacks, right? You have a steel into fire, and then of course fire into fire. There's just so much.
Güey, te lo juro que es de las, creo que es, dice, y llegaron a verlo caer al Coraidon, a eso llegamos. Y ya no le pude apostar al Nils, pero Nils juega chido. Pizza con piña. Estamos comiendo pizza hawaiana viendo el mundial en Hawái, así de finos.
The heat wave erupts into the
All of Amoonguss's HP getting knocked out. Nils seems not too shaken up about it. Still has a Pokemon advantage on his side. So we'll be able to switch whatever Pokemon he wants onto the field. That Shadow Ball went towards the Protect on Calyrex's end. So Nils knows, hey, I got a team sheet.
Dice, ese Calyrex tiene el Tera perfecto contra el team enemigo. Sí. Shiyu no le puede pegar bajo el sol. Por el pez. Y el Nihilego te iba a decir. El Goldengo le hace poco eficaz y todo lo demás es neutro. Ah, pero Regidrago pega durísimo, güey. ¿Y qué es Choice? No, es Life Orb. Sí. Dice, Chiyu sigue pegando como vía muerta aunque lo resistas. O sea, sí. Pero no quita tu gran referencia. Alta referencia. Pero no quita la primer comentario de Diego. Que es el Tera perfecto. Vas a ver el madrazo de Regidrago. Ah, usó Draco Meteor.
Chiyu is gone and down for the count, and Daniel only one Pokemon remaining. It could be the Goldengo, and
No,
it is going to
viene
be
todavía el Iron Hands.
Iron Hands reclaims it. Nils does
¿Por qué?
have that 2-1. Taking a lot of
Ah, sí.
damage at this point, though.
The Iron Hands on the field can't go for the fake out like you mentioned. The Goldengo does have
No, a quien quieras te lo aguanta, güey. No tiene a dónde pegar. Al que le pegue se lo va a aguantar y los dos lo van a focusear. No. No mames, tiró otro Draco. Se mamó, güey. No sé por qué usó Dracomitro, se mamó. ¿Es la Isor?
Porque ya nada más le queda 3 golpes. Tera, Black, Draco Energy.
No mames, qué cagada. Le dio la vuelta, Dice, por cierto, la Flutter del lado izquierdo lleva Impression. Por eso el Cali no pudo poner Trick Room. La remontó bien, No, porque no traigo vaso.
massively strong. And by not letting the Cavalry's get an attack off, remember, it gets 2 boosts to its attack. Then it protects, then it gets knocked out by Shadow Ball. It never actually got to take advantage of
El
that
Flutter
active
fue buena
ability.
opción con ese Impression,
I mean, I'm even looking back at the one turn where
Sí,
there was the protect over
dice
onto
Diego
the
que sí.
Calyrex and the Amoonguss.
Que por eso el
Just as
Calyrex no
quickly
pudo poner
redirecting the Shadow Ball,
el Trick Room.
all of a sudden it just goes for an attack on that turn and it gets KO before it even gets the opportunity to do anything because of this heat wave. But it's still then a tough situation. The Calyrex stays around that, but then the final Pokemon you had in the back unable to quite make that momentum. And yeah, these were 2 Pokemon that Daniel right away was forced to be the only 2 things. But I'm looking at that Regidrago and I don't know if that was necessarily the proper last
Flutter le hizo ganar la
Sure, he
partida.
dealt a
Como
lot
se
of
quedó
damage
siendo
with the
lo más
Draco
lento del
Meteor
campo, no pudo
the first
aprovechar el
time
más 2
around.
que ganó
I
al
can't say
inicio.
that about the other time.
Yeah, definitely not into a steel type at -2.
Sí.
But the choice scarf
Ganó el...
on GU is
Güey,
just
pero aún
something
así, ¿por
so
qué el
different because
Regidrago...
there are so many
A su
Pokemon
madre.
in similar speed
Digo, nada más tiene 3
tiers
golpes
that
y no era
it makes the
habla
GU
literalmente
faster
hace
than
tipo normal.
Regidrago. It makes it faster than some of the other
Pues
Pokemon
sí.
Nils might have. And of course, you're
Ya no tiene
lowering,
por qué tocar
naturally
A
lowering the
Goldengo.
opponent's special defense on the field thanks to the Beads of Ruin ability. So I think Nils might have kept the Regidrago in the back as kind of that check because you know Draco Meteor is always going to be able to one-hit KO. But the choice scarf just meant
¿Qué?
that the GU was getting so much damage off.
Where we go into the second game is I'm looking at that Regidrago and it's like
Lo que me sorprende, el Regidrago de Nils siempre pega como camión. Pega como papá borracho, dijera Diego.
Cuando pierde la media.
Potentially it.
Para
And
pelear a
it's
América.
really interesting to see how Daniel is able to kind of like
Perdón por eso
with
último.
those 2 ends and just how much pressure they were able to put on because right away
¿Está temblando?
it set the stage, it set the sun, got a little bit of
O
damage,
Bumbio
and
muerta.
the Calyrex is able to deal with it. So going into this game number 2, get to see some adjustments come out.
All right, Nils gonna swap it up here, starting with the Amoonguss next to his Calyrex Ice Rider at the beginning of game 2 instead of bringing it in the back. And hey, it worked out for Daniel. Maybe these 2 Pokemon weren't the ones that gave him the W in game 1, but if he won game 1 with this,
No creo que lo haga.
go Fluttermane Koraidon yet again.
I feel like this is really important as well because at the same time, this Fluttermane,
No, si lo,
you
mira.
have that in prison to make sure the Calyrex isn't getting the speed dimension that it wants. It can't play that trick if you're able to be shutting that
No,
down.
no lo va a usar.
Being able to right away, yet again, okay, well, Fluttermane, you can't go for an attack essentially on this turn because you're
No, Nils no lo va a usar. No va a caer 2 veces.
is absolutely massive. And since you do have the Amoonguss next to the Calyrex, the Koraidon, if you do want to be firing off a collision course, it won't necessarily do the most. You do have the opportunity, of course, to go for that Flare Blitz, but the Amoonguss on the opposing
No me
end
fijé.
can try and just Terrasilize out of that weakness.
All right, so let's get into our first turn of game.
A la madre, Tierra de Fuego.
Into a fire type yet again, just like we saw in game 1. It seems like these 2 Pokemon,
Sí.
the Calyrex and the Koraidon, they can't stand their
Y lo vuelve camión. Ese también sabemos que este era fuego.
It's like the one you see, it's like anything you can do, I can do better. You're a Terrifier? Oh, I can do that too. And this makes a lot of sense because you have to make sure right away that you're not going to get too pressured from the opponent. Especially too, that's not going to be redirection from the Amoonguss. Instead, just the protect. In prison, we're keeping things honest around here.
There it is, and prison means that any shared moves between Fluttermane and the Pokemon on the other side, they cannot click.
Vamos a ver.
If Nils went for a Trick Room on this turn, it would
De,
not
sí, lo leyó.
be
De la otra, de la que tiene muchas
and it
cosas.
brings Fluttermane down to its focus sash.
Sí, esta vez sí lo leyó bien el Nils. Sí, no iba a caer 2 veces.
You got the Terra out,
Sí.
and the Flare Blitz pressure is very
Gracias.
real into the Amoonguss. It will not appreciate a Terra Sun boosted Flare Blitz whatsoever, but a decent amount of damage into it, and the Fluttermane just in on a sliver of health puts a lot of pressure on, but this is where we get into a little adjustment.
Cuando guste.
Exactly, so Amoonguss is up to some tricks, but will the Koraidon let it go?
No mames.
That's a sun boosted Flare Blitz, and Amoonguss is down.
One hit KO.
2 games in a row.
Te lo mató de un golpe.
Hardly any value out of the mushroom.
Roasted mushrooms for dinner over here. That Amoonguss is absolutely done for.
Ve cómo dejó a Koraidon entre 2
Sí, eso fue lo...
So you lose 1, but I think this is a pretty decent trade. This is where it did get tricky last time with that trade, considering the back But since your Amogus does get
Realmente el que le da problema es el Calyrex.
you have to assume is that Chiyu in the Golden Go.
Yeah, Chilling Nay boosting its attack by 2 stages on Nils end, just like we saw in Game 1. So if Calyrex is ever able to actually successfully land an attack, it's going to be massive amounts of damage output. But because it's such a slow Pokemon, and Daniel, we saw in Game 1, those really fast, hard-hitting Pokemon in the back didn't really allow Calyrex to get any attacks.
Es
Well, that's the thing,
Glacial,
Calyrex, when you weren't able to get that situation that you wanted, sure, you go out on
Protect.
the offense, but if you're not making it to your point in the turn to be able to fire
Glacial
off
Protect,
that +2 booster shot, what's it really going to be doing for you? But this is where I'm curious
una cosa psíquica que no me acuerdo cómo se llama. No sé si es psíquico o qué. Goldengo de Gourmet. y el Trick Room.
Everything else could be really good, and the Urshifu is the one I wanted to see. So this one, sure. At this point, your Surging Strikes aren't necessarily doing the most, but a close combat into that Chiyu could be devastating.
Oh, we actually see on Daniel's end, we have the benefit of his perspective with Power Gem as one of those choice specs, choice locked attacks that would be super effective into this Calyrex. You wonder if Nils is going to anticipate that, smartly protecting.
Dice Diego, está prácticamente igual la partida. Heatwave y Make It Rain va a pegar demasiado. ¿Por qué? ¿Qué hizo con el Goldengo? No mames. No, con perros. Tú trabajando así, el de repulso no le serviría. Ah, cool. Ahora sí se lo violó. Ah, el pato. Cuacabal. Ah, Sarina. Sarina. Güey, y los dos van 5-1. Dice Concha, no mames, lo aguantó. Güey, su peleó, jugó con Concha hace como 2-3 días. O sea, yo dije, hasta yo me cagué, dije, no mames, lo aguanté. Y Concha, no mames, lo aguantó. Dice, buen roaring. Me usó un... ¿Cómo se llama la...? El Raikou, ¿cómo se llama esa madre? La jirafa, dijera.
Ominaveas.
Hola, Ominaveas.
Qué bueno que
bienvenido.
Llegaste, que Arceus te bendiga.
Estamos viendo el mundial de Pokémon. Bueno, el caso es que esa cosa usó Thunderbolt. Tera eléctrico. A -1. A mi Roaring. Tera volador. Full HP. Sí, creo que sí estaba full. Como a la 1 o 2. Va en la ronda 7. En teoría le deben de quedar como 2. En teoría le deben quedar como 2 horas. Se supone que acaba a las 11 de allá, 12 nuestras, se supone. Solo que yo la empecé a ver en el camión, en la oficina. El color me gusta. El de Pokémon. Play Pokémon. El de la liga. Ah, la borra esta de los Drippy, güey. Me da un chingo de risa siempre que la veo. Es la onda esa morra. Raging Bolt. y lo aguantó. Yo me cagué. Dije, ¿por qué? Dije, ¿por qué aguantó? Digo, que era -1. Y dice Concha, por eso lo hice Tera y no lo mató.
No tiene cómo detenerte, ¿no?
Ahorita no.
Of offensive
Pero
here to be starting with from Daniels.
va a sacrificar el Among Us por un Trick Room.
Best way to be kind of ending that, and if you do
No.
go ahead and terrestrialize,
Por eso digo, yo no creo.
I do think that we're going to see protect coming on out since it is two choice.
Estaba esperando el switch.
Where Daniel loses a little bit of advantage going on into this. You know, now Chiyu, the heat wave seems kind of obvious.
Porque va Choice.
Nine Billy. Qué bueno que llegaste, que Arceus te bendiga.
Saludos, bienvenide. Porque no sé quién es. Bienvenides. Un usuario que creo que es un bot. O me hace creer que es un bot.
This point, there hasn't been sun, so the Chiyu damage with that heat wave is going to be smaller, and since it is the choice scarf as opposed to the choice specs, that's a little bit less of the damage capabilities. And the Amoonguss on the other end.
Dice, juega bien acro Danigel. Yo soy fan de Nils porque sí lo he visto jugar antes y el vato está perro. Nils. Es del caballo. ¡Oh, lo viste, evadió! ¡Oh, la madre! No mames, lo quemó. Hubiera sido. ¿Y Glacial Lens? No, Trick Room. Ahí está. Su loco. Nomás no le han avisado, güey. El Danigel ya va. En teoría ya va a perder. En teoría. Ahora sí, expansión de dominio, dirían los Jujutsu. Loco, y trae un Hans atrás, güey. El Hans también es lento, Hans. Sí, no, ya. Expansión de dominio. El más lento ataca primero.
Get started rolling or literally with imprison on the Fluttermane. And here we are in game 3 with Trick Room and two really slow Pokemon on Nils' side.
And what's also a little bit difficult is
sí,
sometimes to
es el desempate ya.
You might go for protection and space him out and just kind of survive past them.
¿Quién era Stellar?
Lucian.
¿Quién?
And out of the 4 Pokemon that he brought, only one of them has protect. Since the Fluttermane did forego that to have this Trick Room and Imprison combination.
Dice, no tiene nada para atacar a este güey, le van a hacer Steamroll.
Trying to reverse the Trick Room, but the Glacial Lens bringing it down to a Focus Sash is making that a very moot dream real fast. Sure, you get past this Drain Punch, but you have to go on from there.
And Power Gem, remember, there's no Beads of Ruin on the field anymore, so Calyrex is able to take that comfortably, even though it's super effective as a Fire type. Two Ghost types means they don't care about the Drain Punch, but
a usar Trick Room para... Pues no tiene caso. ¿Cómo vas a atacar directamente al Goldengo cuando tienes algo para a una Flutter con 1 de vida? Este compa ya desde ahí ya.
Daniel down to final 2 Pokemon. Koraidon, Chiyu, you're going to bring the sun, but I think you're going to get burnt from this one. Koraidon, the
es más, aunque ahorita le mataran al Calyrex.
Yeah, there should be 2 turns of Trick Room remaining. Calyrex, if it wants
¿A quién, Luis?
For a strong attack here with
Sí, el 26 empiezan las clases para mí. Pero trabajo desde el 5. Depende de Chiyu, dice. Bueno, Chiyu va a aguantar el Calyrex. Con... Sí. Pega durísimo. Sí lo aguanta, yo creo. Sí, ya. Puta madre. Es una lagartija cualquiera. Mamó. Collision Course, sí, ya que se vaya, que ya, no, ya.
On the other end, but this Power X is going to be able to go down. But the question is, what is that last Pokemon on Nils' side?
Siguiente.
And if this Koraidon can do enough, because
Ajá,
you're
no,
still
no los conté
staring
tampoco.
down this Iron Hand, that can deal a really good amount of damage.
La batalla dura 7
With something like
minutos
that low kick.
en comando.
He is going to be the fourth and final Pokemon in
Ah,
the
el Trick Room, sí, 5
So
turnos.
again, we talk about maybe the scarf isn't the greatest thing in this situation, but both of these Pokemon are at full health.
Sí, no, no, no aguanta los dos, no
Even
los tiene
if
para
you're able
rematar.
to take on one, you're gonna get hit hard.
Dice, ¿cómo juegas tan lineal a un Trick Room? Sí, ni siquiera estaleó ni nada, güey. No, mames, no, y se lo aguantó chido, güey. Sí, ¿no? Cuando sabes que, bueno, cuando sabes que el Calyrex de hielo juega Hard Trick Room.
Only shining on Nils after that set. Such a strong game 3 performance.
No cualquiera llega a la primera ronda de Hawái bajo. Sí. Sí, pero ya iban 5-1. O sea, van 6-1. El otro va 5-2 y este va 6-1. Vamos a ver. A ver, primero. Sí. A ver. Ganó Wolfie. 7-0. Wolfie va 7-0, güey. Ah, su madre, se va a colar sabroso, güey. Sabroso. Sí. Hasta ahorita. A ver. Hirofumi subió a primero. Y Wolfie está en sexto.
Nada más quedan 6 jugadores invictos. Y quedan 2 peleas aún.
Sí. 6 jugadores invictos. Güey, sí es cierto.
6 de 4.
Son. A la madre, voy a checar ese. 694. Ah, mira, se llama Gustavo el último. Gustavo Kengo. En driver.
Ve a Stephen Morioka.
Sí. ¿El qué dices?
Stephen Morioka, ve tu resultado.
Stephen, ¿dónde está?
Arriba.
Morioka. ¡Ah, la bestia! Y el vato va a seguir jugando, ¿eh?
Sigue jugando.
No, va a seguir. O sea, ya sé que está jugando. Va a seguir. O sea,
Fuera y va a seguir.
va a perder las dos, güey. Mira, esos a los 3-0 ya se rindieron. Dijeron, no, ya no paso. Ya mejor me dedico a disfrutar. Sí.
Oye, chécate si sigue vivo Marcos.
Voy, espérame. Le pido a Majo y yo lo checo. Güey, ¿por qué me sacó? No, o sea, mi driver dice que ya me salí. Ajá, o sea, me está pidiendo iniciar sesión. Es lo que voy a ver porque
day one here in Honolulu compared to the Terra Grass versions that are more
¿Qué?
anti-Mugus or Terra Water versions which are anti-Cower-esque because now you resist the Glacial Lance. So where do you fall on the Cower Ice Rider Terrestrialization conversation? If you were playing the World Championships today and you were running the Ice Rider, what would your Terra be?
I mean, maybe it's a little recency bias, but the Terra Fire just seems so strong that I have to look into that. Hey, if an EUIC champion is using the Terra Fire, I kind of just feel like
ballena, ¿verdad? Digo, marsopas.
Yeah, but then the next round somebody has Terra Water and they're also. We have a million IC champions and world champions here. We're at the World Championship, so all of the players are really smart, really intelligent, great team
Según
builders.
esto, vamos a ver
Fast,
si
hell of a
agarra
team build.
60.
Actually saw a tweet where Ryota, world champion Ryota Atsubo, was rooting for Hirofumi to win his match, not just because they're both Japanese and they're friends, but because Ryota lent him his Raging Bolt. So it's like he was rooting for. It's like if Hirofumi wins, essentially Ryota's winning.
I mean, I've definitely lent out Pokemon hoping that maybe Pokemon gets a world champion title before I do. Like, I don't know, you got bets like bets, right?
Yeah, you got the world champion Joy-Con, or the IC champion Joy-Cons from a few years ago. Hopefully you can get
Ah, su loco, ojalá Wolfie sí se vaya al 9-0, Ojalá.
And everything there, but yeah, I mean, honestly, we've been having a great day so far, Sierra. We have one more match remaining. It's like the action's kind of been flowing by super quickly.
It's been absolutely crazy. With only 8 rounds on the very first day.
El perrillo y todo.
Man, it's going by so fast. Players have been working all throughout the summer to be ready for this moment, and it's the moment out in the field where a lot of players' dreams, I mean, they've either started to be realized or GG go next year.
Yeah, they're either excited for tomorrow because they'll be playing, or they're excited for Sunday to find out what Worlds is next year. But for now, we're gonna head over to the stage with our winner interview from round 7. So Rosemary, take it away.
Lo que está al frente, pero ajá, uno es de videojuego, otro es de Go y otro es de cartas.
Y el otro de Unite hay 4.
Y el otro, y el otro de Unite, sí, cierto. Sí.
Ajá, siempre de los últimos. Van en orden de importancia. Siempre empieza Go, luego va Unite, TTG y al final BGT.
Yeah, I mean, you made a fantastic adjustment after that first game to be able to.
No agarra, le puse 60 abajo, no agarra. ¿Le subo?
That was kind of like, okay, I know what to do now for the second game.
I knew with his team, which is very offensive and forces me to not play Trick Room, I had to be smart with like what pieces I gave him and what damage I got. So I sort of had to be smart in what, like for example, game 2, the Protect play on Amoongus. Being able to get
¿Y quiénes son esos?
every sliver of damage.
Ah, yo pensé que los de la... los de cierta compañía. Ah, sí.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was after we ended up seeing the Reggie Drago come in, maybe a little lackluster for you, but you spotted it immediately, and then you ended up making the transition to the
Uno por
first for
70.
that second game. Were you feeling a bit more confident?
Sí, uno por ahora sí que
in the back?
Yeah, I wanted to give like Reggie Drago a bit of a show because
Pollo feliz, dos tatas.
but I felt that
100,
Golden Goo,
pero dice 100, ¿no?
Reggie Drago couldn't really do that much. So I felt Ushri would be able to counter his TU, which
Se llama Eric el...
Awesome. Well,
Se ve morrillo.
te
Te pusieron, chido bro, buen conductor, llegué rápido a mi destino, tiene buena música. Dice que lleva 4 años conduciendo, 4.309 rides y 5.0. Cállese los hijos, su señoría. Usted ni siquiera es... Está como el de que dice... Al Discord de memes. Hay una que dice, dice... Sí.
Ya perdió.
Ya valió madre. Dice, jóvenes, ¿por qué los dos tienen las mismas respuestas? Dice, es que tenemos las mismas preguntas. Reprobado por chistoso.
You're able to bring it home for Europe, but you've also been an incredible team builder. I think very few players can say that they've played with multiple different teams or archetypes this season, and you got a top 8 at Stockholm.
Pues parece que sí, dos ronditas más. Se me hace sábado de alguna manera, pero no, gracias a Dios es viernes.
I can say that essentially why I had Reggie Drago on this team was in the Stockholm tournament. I felt that my
¿Me
restricted
puedes
was
poner una,
essentially
por
Reggie
favor?
Drago. In some games I didn't
De
even
a
break
la que está más
parameters
cerca
and
de
he
ti, por
swept.
favor.
Which then I sort of knew that, okay, I want Reggie Drago on the Worlds team, and it's been hard to sort of make it work, but I felt it was much more hard on the Trick Room team.
Está bien,
And
bien cortada por los
I think it's
del...
worked out so far, so I feel it's pretty good.
Gracias.
I know. I'm hoping we get a chance to see a little bit more of the Reggie Drago tomorrow, but we know that you have that to look forward to, as well as one more round of Swiss today. So we're gonna go ahead and let you get ready for that. But before we do that, any shout outs you'd like to make to the people supporting you?
I would like to shout out my mom and my brother that's here and supporting me as
Mi
always,
vieja.
and then as well just my friends back in Sweden and all over the world. I just super appreciate you, and I hope I did a reasonable show.
Se regresó antes.
I hope to see you guys tomorrow then.
That'll be amazing. Thank you so much, Nils, for your time. Congratulations again. Best of luck for your last round. And viewers at home, we will be right back with all of the Pokemon action, so don't go anywhere.
¿Para qué? A la madre.
Hello again, I'm Anna Prosser here with Evolution's Cosplay and Sarah. Evolution's Cosplay, who are you cosplaying today?
Today I'm cosplaying as Vaporeon from Pokemon, of course.
And I heard you say Princess Vaporeon.
Yeah, I wanted to do more master, but it ended up looking more princess, and I really wanted to try to use local
En términos de reproducción,
So today I have like this nice blueprint or the breadfruit because not only has an island feel, but also kind of reminds me of like water ripples.
Bueno, sí, conclusión, sí, yo me quedé con Can we see the tail? It looks
Right here.
And Sarah, you are cosplaying as a cosplay member. Can we see the back of your shirt? Amazing, amazing. And how does that work?
Well, we are sisters, so she puts up with a lot of things. So while I'm the crafting and making all my evolution cosplays, she's there as my support. I would be able to do this without her, not only behind the scenes, but when we're at conventions and events like this.
So a lot of conventions and events?
Oh yes, since coming back from lockdown, we've had so many conventions and events. I've been able to do more cosplays and continue to do all
mi
the
tía sí lo ubica.
cosplays that I love.
La vi y le dije.
People that definitely recognize what you're cosplaying in a dress like this?
Oh my gosh, this experience is out of this world. Being my first world here, seeing the love of Pokemon, and being able to see the children being happy to see me, seeing adults.
So cool. And what made you choose Evolutions?
Tuvimos una muy buena plática en tu comedor de eso. De hecho, sí, ¿eh?
No, es que mira, in 2016 as a closet cosplay. So something really simple just to have fun.
Y de la nada todos empezamos. De noche, de día.
Really so much joy making my own cosplays and doing what, just keep doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Eevee is my favorite, so I think that's a great theme. Thank you so much for taking
¿Y te acuerdas de la...
today.
¿Te acuerdas de la...
And thanks, Sarah. And now back to the Pokemon World Championship.
Digo una mamá. Que hubo un tiempo... Bueno,
Sí, me acuerdo que le
hubo una época donde...
Sí,
que este... O sea, digamos que andamos a la misma morra. Conmigo sí salió, con él no. Pero no anduvo con ninguno. Y el vato ahí afirmando que él había metido gol. Y así como de, digo, tengo evidencia de que no, güey. Sí. Ya llegó Majo. Ahorita venimos. Majo ya se va.
I'm an immensely competitive person. I want to be one of the best in the country and one of the best in the world, and I've been chasing it for so long. It's part of why this victory after a couple of second places, as you know, even earlier this year, means so much to me, to prove that I really am one of the best in North America. I think getting a trophy at an international is really my next step. The last season, I was able to finish top 8 at 2 different internationals and lose, you know, good sets in top 8. But I really want to move on to top 4 and get that trophy.
One of the most accomplished players that we have out here without ever getting that championship title.
Something that I've learned, I think going with your gut is immensely important in Pokemon. If you think your opponent's going to do something particular, you have to respond to it. You can't second guess yourself. Going with your gut in as smart a way as possible is really important, and you don't want to fall into your opponent's trap when you know they're setting it for you.
Set it up! It is! Jump across gets the knockout!
One of the people that helped motivate me to chase this result is my good friend Simone Sanvito, who won an event in Europe a week ago with the same team that I was using today, and for a long time I've seen him as somebody that's around my skill level, give or take a little bit. So being able to like watch him win his first regional, I'm going to do the same thing a week later.
Luna, no, para afuera. Sí, ya sé, porque está falta de comida. Justo la temporada que la ley es viable, no estoy jugando. Carajo. Pero es que
la próxima es la que estamos viendo.
Es que la neta me da hueva porque es criar 1.0 y ver de velocidad. Ah, loco, necesito esta camisa. Necesitamos esta camisa, qué diferente.
Mía, el Wolfie.
¿El Wolfie?
Sí.
La subió el Jody.
Mía.
Shit. Mía, good shit. Bro. Un set más y Jody pasa.
Güey, qué triste lo de James.
¿Cuál?
Bake.
Loco, no me había dado cuenta. Sí, no come.
Ah.
El ítem de su calle está muy feo.
Es
Never Melt Eye.
Sí.
No, man.
¿Y con eso ganó?
Y con esto ganó, está perro. Un 4D. Ay, ojalá yo te gane para que haya gracioso en el segundo día. Aaron Shen sería, obviamente. O sea, que ganara Aaron Shen sería poético.
Es muy poético su equipo,
Que ganara Aaron Shen contra un tornado.
Dice, ¿se acuerdan cuál era el nombre del vato transfóbico que... el de Orlando, ¿no?
El de Orlando, sí. Ya se disculpó, pero la madre
No me acuerdo del nombre, pero sí sé cuál.
of applause. Nils Dunlop, our EYC 2024 champion. What a fantastic performance he just had for that last match.
Yeah, I mean, we see why he's a champion there, right? I mean, a great set there. Wound up being, I think, a little more difficult a match than maybe some of us watching the match thought it was going to be, but played really well, figured out the right way to do it, and it has a really neat team, too.
Yeah, and really sticking with the trick room strategy that got him his win at the European International Championships earlier on this year. Telling you, Calyrex Ice Rider, it's out there. It's also right here on the screen alongside of his other Pokemon and some very notable achievements from Nils.
I was talking to him about some of those, right? He ended up getting that top 8 at Stockholm, and he also got a top 64 at the North America International Championships. Both of those accomplishments, mind you, were with different restrictions.
Ahorita lo busco, Diego, dame un segundito nada más.
That's so special.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of a lot of flexibility, right? It seems like I think we've checked a lot of players where they've kind of stuck to the same restricted Pokemon, at least one or two over the course of the season, have really mastered their archetype, but he's shown he can kind of do whatever he wants.
And really innovating on
Oli, ya llegaste,
Diego Inu dice, ya te lo escribí, mojarra.
Es que me parece que ya terminó el viaje.
Ya.
Ok. Vale, me avisas ahorita, ¿va?
Sí, bye.
Bye.
Regitrago has been such a powerful Pokemon for him throughout the World Championships, and even prior to that.
No vino ya no está en esa ronda. No, en la ronda 7, Diego, no está registrado. O sea, el Nail contra el que peleó Wolfie, que es
Diego Inu dice, Neil Petel se llama el Goa, no recuerdo haber leído su nombre en el bracket.
Ahorita en la séptima ya no está. O sea, a lo mejor estaba en alguna otra ronda y ya dropeó, no sé. A ver acá. No está, Diego. Nils ganó el Internacional de Europa. Sí, por eso te dije, lo acabo de ver. Y qué bueno por culero, juas.
Diego Inu dice, qué bueno por culero, juas.
Ya está Wolf en el 10. Ahora sí. ¿Es español? Sí. Riley ya está en el... No, sí. Sí. Sí, o sea, ahí dice 6-0. O sea, esa es la lista de la tabla de la ronda pasada. Sí. O sea, falta la del 7-0. Pero hasta ahí. Sí. Sí, en esta ya Wolfie tiene 7-0. Está en el 6, Wolfie, con 7-0. Sí. En mucho tiempo lo he visto pasar del día 1 al 2 en lugares muy bajos. Y se ha colado al bracket. El año pasado no pasó, exacto. Güey, te lo juro, si Wolfie queda, güey, me cago. Dice Eric en primero, arriba Terápagos. Ahorita te digo si está en primero porque esta lista no está actualizada, Diego. No, Eric Ríos no está en primero. En la última ronda ya no. Está en 11avo, Eric Ríos. Perdió la última ronda. Eric Ríos va 6-1.
¿en qué lugar va?
Yeudi, ahorita te digo en qué lugar va Yeudi.
Yeudi es mi Mazatlán, güey.
Dice, bueno, pero sí pasó.
No, Yeudi sí usa buen equipo, mi Mazatlán era...
Yeudi 123.
Pero puede pasar, ¿no?
Una. Podría armarle todavía.
Con una más.
Sí.
Pero hoy no está tan... Ah, no, es que...
Absolutely. I can't wait to see how the rest of them are going to do, but you viewers at home, we have loved having you as a part of the stream so far, and I hope you've been enjoying these wonderful rewards, because we do have some available for you for all of the games that you're tuning into. My personal favorite is the drop for the video game. You can celebrate the 2024 Pokemon World Championships with us.
Es el del año pasado. Ya sé quién es. O sea, es el de que jugó la final. No. Ese es el que jugó la final. Un Sylveon, creo. Según yo, sí. Y sabes si hay otros equipos con Terápagos. El equipo con Terápagos he visto nada más el de Eric Ríos. No han pasado otra batalla con Terápagos. Y los equipos, pues, no hay una página que yo sepa donde estén publicados.
No, pero es que no, ahorita muchos de Pokémon tuvieron.
Sí, sí, ahorita no van a mostrar nada.
Oneandrips. Qué bueno que llegaste, que Arceus te bendiga.
One
Mua.
Hand Drips, qué pedo con ese nombre, pero bienvenido. Muy alburero ese nombre.
Like me sometimes. I was gonna say that's me after a few coffees, honestly. So
yeah, so I think we're definitely still on the hype train though as we get towards the end of our day. But okay, can we talk about Sylveon just a little bit longer, please? Please. I gotta talk about the Sylveon Regulation H. That is gonna be the next format. Gas her up, please. Okay. Please gas her up.
Well, I know you can soon get a Sylveon plush in the Pokemon Center. Trying to tie this all together. The Gen 6 Sitting Cuties are going to be released soon. You can sign up for email updates if you scan that QR code there. I have not determined, scientifically speaking, if there is an advantage to having a Sylveon there with you as your partner Pokemon.
It is.
When you're competing.
It is scientifically proven that it is an advantage to have a Sylveon sitting next to you.
So there you go. If you want to be just a little bit extra lucky, I guess, question mark.
Hit those hyper beams, baby.
Maybe it can help you read the emails. I don't know.
I mean, you never know. Sylveon can be your daily life helper.
I like that. I do that in my general life. But no, I'm so excited. I think that like looking just at the distribution, really hope you guys are able to grab it and train up your own Sylveon for competitive play next season.
Can somebody remind me to actually grab it before the end of the weekend?
Me too.
Because I always forget.
Yeah, I was going to ask both of you to remind me. And now I'm realizing why none of us ever get these Pokemon.
Yeah, I missed out on a couple of years. So please don't let us forget. I will be very sad and very disappointed in myself if I don't get the Sylveon myself. But I did use that team for actually after the World Championships. I did play competitively with this team. It was very, very cool balance core, not just with the Sylveon. Lou would have me if I didn't mention the Gastrodon also on the team. But there were some other really key pieces to that as well. Hisuian, Arcanine, I missed that Pokemon. The Zapdos as well. Very cool to round it out.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, right? It's like the best of the Pokemon World.
A ver, me está llegando un mensaje de... Ah, justamente. Sofía me acaba de mandar un mensaje.
They played really well together, and yeah, kind of one of those teams that I think everyone competing just would love to create something like that and get their own Pokemon distribution.
Yeah, and if you think about it, with Regulation H around the corner,
Oli, te llamé con el pensamiento.
Probably going to come back into favor. Sylveon, we've already discussed. Gastrodon clearly isn't going anywhere, question mark. So I think we're building a good team here. I think we got to revisit Tomio's match from last year and take some notes.
Déjame dar audio.
I have a question for you guys, though.
Estoy aquí en mi casa con mi mejor amigo. Se llama Sergio, le decimos Lara porque le da su apellido. Y le estaba contando. Le digo, le voy a mandar un mensaje a Sofía.
Sofrifly.
Ya se conectó al directo.
Qué bueno que llegaste.
Me acaba de llegar
que
la
Arceus te
notificación.
bendiga.
Hola Sofía, bienvenida al stream. Te mando un besote. Bueno, me estás escuchando en el directo y me vas a escuchar en tu audio. Así que bueno, le dije, ya le expliqué quién eres. Y le voy a mandar un mensaje ahorita. Le digo, bueno, a lo mejor no está con su tía o está en el cine todavía. Y dije, vamos a esperar un rato. Y en eso me mandaste tu mensaje. Así que por eso te llamé con el pensamiento. Espero que todo haya salido bien. Sofía, te acabo de enviar un audio. Contéstame por WhatsApp, dijeras tú. Por si aquí está Lara, Se me había olvidado, güey, siempre se me olvida que la cámara nos vea a todos ahorita.
I wasn't with you until that last point, and I think I've been convinced. I guess for me, picky, I think is the polite word for the match between my Pokemon and the coloring of the Pokeball that they are contained in.
I'm so picky.
And like, I think for me, I want the Cherish Ball for Pokemon that I don't think there's a match I like. I think one Pokemon we saw today were like, I guess Heavy Ball's okay. But, I want a guy to go all the way and get me the Iron Treads Cherish Ball distribution. Like it sort of matches its
Hoy,
goofy, like LED.
hoy definitivamente ha sido un día muy fife en Pokémon. Demasiado. Yo creo que si todo sale bien, yo creo que va a ser el primer mundial que veo completito.
Ah, madre.
O sea,
Yo quería verlo completo, pero me agarró primero entre la comida y segundo con mi alumno.
me iba a pasar así. Pero, güey, vi la inauguración, así te la pongo.
Ah, ni con los olímpicos.
Sí, vi la inauguración del mundial de Pokémon. Estuvo bonita, digo, no fue la gran cosa, digo, es en un lugar cerrado.
Mañana vas a hacer Pokémon también.
Sí, voy a abrir, a ver quién le cae, pero de que voy a abrir, voy a abrir. Ahí está la una. No, puede ser. ¿Sabes cuál es el de...? Bueno, es que no tengo nada multiplayer en el Xbox. Porque me es más fácil, como está en el Xbox, nomás lo voy salteando. O sea, puedo hacerlo en la Switch, pero me agrega como 2 movimientos. O sea, tengo que cambiar la tele. Está todo conectado. Pero si prendo la Switch, tengo que cambiar el otro HDMI y cambiar nada más aquí el... Pero sí, sin pedos. Ya me contesté.
I don't know.
Someone in the audience, please find Rose DeSanazetta.
I will say though, there is a Pokemon museum here on site at the World Championships. How cool would it be if you could go up there with your 3DS or with your Game Boy and just actually download some of the distributions from past events?
That is a free idea. That is a good free idea. Please think about this. I'm asking nicely.
And then you could get your shiny Zamazenta and everything's fine.
I would be so happy.
Luke could get one of the 8 Gastrodon that were done. Yeah.
It's wild to me that Gastrodon has been distributed that many times. It's a great Pokemon. It is a great Pokemon. And it's been distributed a lot. Yeah, I think I can make a whole team, actually, out of all of the
Persona 4. Parece la niña del aro.
Listen, I love Hisuian Arcanine, though. I really miss that Pokemon. It's been an absolute treat. I'm ready for Hisuian Electrode to make an appearance. Yes, no. I'm getting some, like, very mixed
Ay, Dios. Oye, también ya me llené. Pero, no, y como buen hombre, no me dan ganas de dejarlas ahí.
Okay, Pokemon Go's meta is actually kind of phenomenal. If you are...
Güey, creo que esta ronda va a tardar un buen,
But there's also several other games that you can enjoy for the 2024 Pokemon World Championships. So I hope you do that. We've got Pokemon Unite. Their crowd's been going absolutely wild over there.
No, según yo no. Podemos...
Ahorita no pagué mi mensualidad de
Quiero comprarme el Stray. Ayer lo vimos que estaba barato.
¿Cuál?
Stray, el del gato.
Ah, ya.
Está en 300 y cacho.
Oye, sí está bien barato.
Normal cuesta como 600, 500 y cacho.
Ya llegó.
Bajo ya, Okis.
Bueno, es que no sé si te vaya a gustar, porque no eres tanto de Smash, pero ya ando jugando ahorita mucho multiverso. Es más, ahorita no voy a hacer mis partidas diarias.
TCG. Güey, Metal para presidente también está. Güey, Len me da cosas.
A ver, ¿cómo?
Güey, ¿qué onda con esos comentarios? Se ven muy apáticos. Que se ven muy apáticos.
Eric.
Se
Qué
ven
bueno
menos,
que
menos
llegaste.
profesionales.
Que Arceus te bendiga.
Eric,
Muat.
hola Eric, bienvenido. Ay, gracias por los 5 bits que donaste. Gracias, muy amable. Se acepta aquí todo, gracias. Para la comida de mañana. Gracias por el apoyo. Ahorita estamos esperando las rondas. Dice, ¿por qué tienes esos casters y yo una woman y yo un vato? Es que me metí a TCG. Me metí al de TCG, por eso estaba en esos. Y o sea, me empecé a cambiar por eso. Pero sí, mira, en BGC, aquí están. Ah, mira, ya está la lista actualizada, Diego. Ahora sí, Wolfie está en el 6. ¡Ah, su loco! Nos costó 7 rondas ver a Wolfie dentro del top 8. Eso nos costó 7 rondas. Pues en teoría, estas últimas rondas se tendrán que enfrentar a algunos de estos. De algunos de los que están en 7.
Bueno, de más probable. Porque ya
Sí.
varios hacen el pago.
Sí. O sea, las vergas 7-0 viene loquísimo, dice. Güey, te lo juro que tengo años sin ver a Wolfie con este récord. O sea, es capaz el pendejo de perder las dos que vienen, ¿eh? Es capaz.
Ya está muy cansado igual.
Sí. Pero
¿Viste sus documentales de los últimos 2 torneos?
No.
El de europeo.
Ah, sí. Bueno, no lo vi completo, pero por...
Ve el europeo y ve el de Orlando. El de Orlando es...
Orlando fue el mejor.
Sí, no.
Orlando fue el mejor. Definitivamente Orlando fue mejor. Y que Wolfie venga ahorita con un 7-0 ya da mucho de desear. Viene como favorito de Norteamérica para el campeonato. El japonés creo, es favorito de Japón ahorita.
Hay un español.
Ahorita te digo quiénes son, los tengo acá.
Hay un español que hay un man ahorita que es importante igual. Bueno, medio importante.
¿Cómo se AMLO? Se las mandó a ustedes, creo. Mira, de Norteamérica es Wolfie. De Europa es Aurelien Soula, que no figura. Y de Japón es Hugh Mahara, el que ahorita está en primero.
Oye, y el número 1 de Latinoamérica es Pablo Ruiz, ¿verdad? De Colombia.
No, es que nada más mostraron a esos 3.
Ah, ya.
O sea, solo mostraron a esos 3. O sea que, aunque sea el...
Ese creo que es de los casters. ¿Habrá apuestas? O sea...
No lo sé. Aaron Taylor, güey.
Bueno.
Pero ya van 5-2.
Y mira, ¿por qué?
No mames, güey. Jara contra Wolfie. Vete. No, güey. No mames. No, loco.
Mira, nos ponen Aaron Taylor, que es bueno.
Sí, pero no. La de Jara contra Wolfie es la buena.
Por favor.
No, loco, no, güey.
Oye, a Wolfie, no, ¿sabes qué? Yo prefiero que no nos pongan ninguna pelea de Wolfie hoy.
Para el equipo.
O no, por el estrés.
Pues...
Aquí Aaron y Kieran se están jugando,
Pues sí, no... Nada más... No, o sea, uno pasa y el otro no.
Sí, o sea, están jugando...
Sí, ahorita todos los 7-0 tienen que desempatar. Justamente así.
No, es que...
Hugo me dijo que su predict es que la final sea Jara contra Wolfie. Es lo que él ve. Le digo, no sé. Sí, por eso aquí me dije, no mames. O sea, por eso te dije, ya ahorita los...
Bueno, hay que esperar a ver el primer día 2 y va a ver cómo acaba el ciclo.
Sí, ajá. O sea, sí hay que esperarlo. Pero, güey, sí me estoy encabronando, güey, que no nos pongan esa, güey.
Ninguna de Wolfie, no, yo prefiero...
No, o sea, a mí me encanta ver a Wolfie, güey, las veces que sea.
De los de 7, eso sí.
Sí, pero justamente a esos dos vatos, güey, me gustaría verlos.
Ninguna de los de 0, porque son 0 derrotas, eso es importante.
Sí. Güey, aquí se decide. Ah, su loco, güey, no, güey. Un gallo, güey. O sea, si le gana aquí, voy a ser muy feliz, pero va a valer madre si lo pierde en la final, si es que llega.
Ah, claro.
Que esa va a ser una ventaja o desventaja, si es que los dos llegan. Porque ahorita ya se van a ver el equipo.
Chupa sigue en el juego.
¿Cuándo va Chupa?
Hace una hora iba 5-1.
A ver, vamos a buscar el Chupa. Dice Lara que Seiyon acabó 5-2. Seiyon Park. O sea, todavía podría. O solo que ya haya dropeado. A ver.
Va 5-2 hace media hora.
Seiyon Park 5-2. Todavía podría, pero está en el 129. O sea, su porcentaje está bajito.
Bueno, que mañana sí pasan varios.
Sí, mañana sí.
Mañana han de pasar
¿Cómo se llama este güey?
Paul
Paul Ruiz, ¿no? Paul Chua, 52.
Léelo completo y con tu mente.
That's very true. And of course, as well, it wouldn't be Lee and I behind the broadcast.
No seas mamón. Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Shane here on another episode of Road to the Ranked, where I claim the world champion in Swiss, providing live commentary as I go.
Cubano es nuestro, ahí iba a decir nuestro niño. Ya está más,
Ray,
se ve más joven ahorita,
sí, güey, es que está de civil, güey, de traje se ve más guapo, la neta.
Pero es que, no, es que aparte él es extraño.
Sí, Riley factura contra Aaron, los dos están 5-2.
O sea, la madre está peleando
Su permanencia.
Bueno,
Paul Ruiz dropeó, el ecuatoriano.
no manches.
3-3.
¿Quién quiere de Latinoamérica? A ver, vete hasta arriba.
Voy.